Hi, welcome back. In this tutorial, I'll help single-strung harpers and double-strung harpers get better tone out of the harp, better comfort, and avoid injury through the way that your wrist is used. This is by no means a total ergonomics training, which would take hours and hours and hours. I'll give some links at the end of the video. In fact, I'm about to take one. So you can use this to overcome and prevent some of the worst things that you might do. And you can try these and try things that another teacher shows you, compare them and see how they work with your body so that you can get the best technique of the harp. I'm going to show you in this video how to use a mandarin orange and also some other really simple techniques to make your playing better. I know it sounds strange. But anyway, I learned this from a woman who had injured herself so badly. She was an orchestral harpist. She had to stop for 2 years. And she ended up going to an Alexander technique certified trainer. And then she showed me the things that she had learned, and I show them to other people because it's incredibly helpful. So people ask, how high should I hold my elbows? Used to be in the old days, a lot of people were taught to play like that. And that's how that woman injured her tendons so badly, because it didn't fit with how her body is constructed. We're all a little bit different. So nowadays, some people say play with the straight wrist. That's actually not optimum for some people. So I'm going to show you how to find out exactly how much of an angle in your wrist you should have. So here's what you do first. You relax your hand, palm up, out in front of you. Just let it completely relax, flop. And you'll notice, looking in a mirror, that some people have a really defined angle here. Some people's hands are more straight when they're relaxed. Some people it's even more. But anyway, you'll find out what it is for you. And that angle is what you bring to the harp when you're playing fingers in a row, 4-finger runs, or fingers in a row. So for me, I want to keep that angle that I had. I'm about like this. Some people, if you had a straighter wrist, you might play more like that. If you had more of a, I call it a valley in your wrist, if your valley was more like that when it was relaxed, then your elbows will be a little bit higher. It matters because if you put your hand out again and just wiggle your fingers and feel how comfortable that is, then do it this way and wiggle your fingers. And then bend it farther back than is normal for you and wiggle your fingers. And for me, that hurts all up and down here. But you will find that the most comfortable use of your tendons is where it's just naturally relaxed. You're finding that perfect angle. If you keep that angle, then you're going to have the best use of your tendons. Before you watch this next part, know that there is not one correct way to play the harp. There's the correct way for your body, or the optimum way for your body. So one of the things that I'm going to show here is to not hump up your wrist when you play. But you will see excellent players on YouTube sometimes doing that. It's this kind of emotion. And it can be very graceful and beautiful looking, but it's not good for everybody's wrist. So one of the main things you don't want is to hump your wrist up like that and then be plucking. It's really, really hard all the way up to your elbows on different structures in your body. So when you're moving your fingers, plucking on the harp, you want to keep that shape that's natural to you. Some people, it's a little bit more like that. Some people, it's more straight. Some people go up with their wrist when they play like that. You really don't want to do that. You want to keep that nice little valley that is natural for you, just a little valley or a little more valley, depending on how your body is built. And you just keep it, you keep your hand still as you play. You don't have to you don't shift it around and do all sorts of fancy stuff with it. It's just really quite simple. So recently I had a new student who'd never played the harp before, and she was doing a lot of that when she was playing the harp. It was really hurting her. So we found out that her optimal position was like this. Again, some people, when they relax and gravity takes over, it's like that. But hers was like that, like mine. So this was a way that would protect her instead of going like that when she played the harp. So I had her put her wrist in that position and put some packing tape on it like that. And then when she started to do that, it would tighten up and it made her aware that she was doing it so she could keep a better position when she was at the harp. A little bit of flexibility because it's not like a piece of wood, but she was able to become aware not to, I can't do it, not to hump her hand up like that. Now, one place a lot of people get that hump, what I call the mountain instead of the valley, they get that hump is when they come up higher on the harp because they'll be coming up, they're just fine, and then they drop that down and they get up here and it's kind of humped out. So you don't want to drop your elbow down as you come back. You want to bring it back like you're an archer. So as you come up the harp, your elbow goes back, and that keeps your hand in just the right position. Instead of coming up the harp and dropping your elbow and getting so there's that hump in the back of your wrist, what you want to do is pretend you're an archer and you're bringing your elbow straight back. So you're playing like this. And that keeps the right position in your wrist. Sometimes I tell people to put a ball in their hand, but stick their thumb out to the side so that when they turn it over, the thumb is up and their hand is still shaped, kind of like there's a ball in it. So when you're at the harp, it's as though that that could just hold a ball. So I'm going to let go of it now, but my hand is still in that shape, like there's a ball. So I look through the strings and I see that there's an invisible ball. So I'm looking down there, I'm seeing that invisible ball. Now, when you have your hand like that and your fingers are together, it might be like that, but when you spread them out, look at how it straightens your wrist. So when your fingers are together, you may have a little bit of a valley, a dip in the back of your wrist, but then when you spread your hand out, it often straightens, and that's okay. I hope this is a good start for you in helping you with your wrist technique. It's always good to have a teacher to be able to look at you after you start to learn something and see if you're actually putting it into practice. They can see little things you can't see. And I'll give resources so that you can go further.